Alright, hi everyone, this is audapostrophe. Let's continue our game of the Callisto Protocol running on the PlayStation 5. We're on everything except for Facebook Gaming, because apparently Facebook Gaming doesn't know that streaming Callisto Protocol is okay. Somehow they didn't get the memo. Oh, I'm back up against the wall. Yeah, the dodging doesn't work against the wall. I mean, the dodging doesn't work against a fair number of circumstances that you needed to work against. How many times do I have to fight against this guy? Was that the third time? Oh my goodness.
Online.
We're at max with a gun. That's right, our next steps are max with the grip. We've already done max with the baton. Oh no, we haven't done the target module upgrade. Okay, so that's next.
What was going on here?
UJC Printing. Have a united day. User assumes all liability for use of this print. Cycle complete.
Okay, and we'll fake save here. Since guess it doesn't actually seem to know what a real save is.
Choice. Every choice in your life has led you
Oh, okay.
to
Same
this
old speech.
place, this moment. But what choice will you make, Jacob? Will you remain as you are? Or will you choose to become something greater?
Just about to listen to a recording. You rude dude. Am I gonna be able to listen to this thing? My goodness.
Observation log. Subject 324-980 exhibits an intriguing mix of characteristics, most notably an enhanced will to survive. Recommend extraction and induction into the program.
Let's see. With extensive research into behavioral disorders, Dr. Yasmin can provide valuable insight into how subjects' mental states are affected, while Dr. Mala tracks physiological changes. This is critical for the reactivated research program if we are to replicate Subject 0. Oh, excuse me. Can I really not go in there? Oh. I feel a little cheated. Well, they must love that animation. We've seen that animation so many times. Where did you come from? Gosh, I shot him and he still transforms. Like, really? The point of that upgrade was so that it would shoot him where the tentacles are. But nope, doesn't matter. one am I fighting? This one. Just keep pushing him against the wall and beating him. Yeah, they really need to be able to do something with the dodging and characters that are behind you, because, like, you know, you'll get situations set up where a character will push you so that you're in between another character. Then you have like no way to control the blocking from behind. There's nothing to mitigate it. I think what they could have done is, instead of, you know, if you needed to keep the system with left, right, and down for dodging and blocking, is they could have just made down parry instead of block, and I think that would have solved some of these issues. Because, yeah, against two enemies, I mean, that was just two enemies. Which really shouldn't be that much of an issue for the blocking system, but if they were parries where you would, like, maybe, like, shove the character away from you, and I think that would sort of mitigate any problems they have with multiple characters, you know. I think that would still be relatively easy to fix, to take away the block and make it a parry only. It wouldn't require like that much animation work to do it. At least that's not my feeling. I mean, the game still has like kind of an addictive quality for the combat, though it is sort of wearing thin because it is just left, right, or right, left, without much more variance than that. I think maybe if they didn't try to make it too simple, where sometimes you would have to go left, or right, or again, if there was a parry mechanic, I think that would probably go a long way into making this like feel like there's more stuff you can do. Yeah, that is, it gets super samey, super quick. Step on this thing? Thank you. Did it give me anything? That looks like something I should be able to get. No? Okay, fine. Didn't respond in time. Yeah, and we should really be able to block a lot of their animations. Like, they really get stuck into this animation loop, you know. And sometimes I'm like clearly hitting an opponent, but he's still committed to his animation loop, and therefore, you know, I just take damage for something which doesn't make sense. You know, the way I see it on the screen. And again, these things, I think they can be relatively easy to fix. But it's certainly not going to happen within the launch window, and it's certainly probably not going to happen, you know, in the first set of releases. You know, and unfortunately, as it is, you know, this is the impression that it's going to leave on gamers, is this first set of releases, this first, you know, the first month. And after that, you know, who knows if they're going to be able to improve enough to generate more sales. Now, it's a shame that it had to be rushed, that so many other projects were coming to fruition.
Just hang on. I'm coming.
You know, Resident Evil 4 remake and Dead Space remake are so close to this that it's probably true if they would have waited any longer, then they just would have become irrelevant. We would have had those other great games out, and this kind of would have been stuck in this kind of mid-tier land. That was a thing. Did you give me any stuff? No? No stuff? No stuff. Okay. I Neat stuff. Oh, I need a fuse. It's like went into a separate animation sequence. I felt like an FMV sequence there. What the heck happened? Oh, there's the fuse. Wow.
Hurry, Jacob. We're running out of time. After 2 weeks in the program, Subject 324-980 exhibits remarkable physical enhancements, though his mental state is deteriorating rapidly.
No, you don't say.
Flag the subject for Mahler. Maybe this will help get coal off our backs. You're nearly here. Just keep moving.
And, you know, I actually I have a pretty good tolerance for mindless brawlers, so I think I probably am more okay with this game than the average gamer. I think the average gamer probably would lose patience with this. Yeah, because there's so many other games out there that feed you with a lot of variety, you know, as they should. And you know, if you get a game that's quite the opposite, that's not giving you any variety, you know, naturally you're not going to be as inclined to play the game. Which is, you know, it's a real shame. I need max energy, max speed. This is max, though. Oh no, it's not maxed. Okay, I still got a ways to go. Again, kind of a little visual homage to Dead Space 2 there. The operating bed. Oh, that one had a different animation. Oh, it's a big guy. You again? Isn't it too soon to see you? What? Just keel over like that? Man, how many of those things are there? You gotta wonder, right? What are you doing here? Really? Okay. It's gotta tap that button early. No indication of, well, when those things are active or not. Just take your chances, I guess. Oh, there's someplace that's almost clean.
Subject 324-980. Can you hear me?
Oh, did she make it stop? Seems like that story's a bit unfinished. Hello, anybody in there? No? Okay.
The lab. At the heart of the prison.
Is that what this is? Are you sure?
Looks like they were trying to see how long it takes to turn into those things. Experimenting on the prisoners. Figures. How long were they doing this? Was the UJC behind this too?
Yeah, I'm actually pretty lucky I chose the ps5 version. I mean, I really was tempted to get this on Series X, but I kind of already had another game that we're playing on Series X, and just trying to split the games between the two platforms. Lucky enough this this landed on the PlayStation 5 side.
Hey, what are you doing? I said, what are you doing?
It's only an inhibitor to slow the rate of infection.
You said you could cure her.
I can, with your help. You have to trust me.
Why would I do that?
Just in time, and she doesn't have much.
All right, fine. Do whatever you need to do.
Soon everything will become clear.
Hey, why don't you start by telling me about this?
You saw the recordings, you know what happened on Europa?
I have no idea what happened on Europa. I wasn't there when the attack happened.
No, but she was. Are you sure you really want to?
Yes!
Do you wish?
What did you do to me?
Gave you what you wanted. The curse of knowledge. Your core is linked with hers now. Or at least it will be once the sync is complete. The data won't transfer immediately. But her memories will fill in the gaps. Give you the answers you seek.
Okay. Just tell me how we can cure her.
You can use this to synthesize an antidote. But you'll need to extract a sample from the warden's elf.
Is what?
The goal of this
His big dong,
madness
Alpha.
is ridiculous protocol. During the original outbreak, a colonist known as Subject Zero demonstrated a unique ability to synthesize the biophage, to control it.
Yeah, I heard in the recording something about bigger, stronger.
The next phase of human evolution. Unfortunately, he was killed during the Arca's sterilization. Now, the Warden seeks to replicate the conditions of the original outbreak, hoping to recreate Subject Zero as Subject Alpha.
By releasing the virus into the prison?
As he would say, evolution doesn't happen in a lab, it happens in the wild.
Yeah, but how can he do this? There's no way he can cover this up.
He's not acting alone. He's part of a group. Dating back centuries.
Oh,
this
sure.
Control
Yeah.
progress of human... She's waking. Big energy.
Lalilulelo.
Once synthesized, the antidote will contain the only pure essence from his alpha. He'll want it more than anything. It's the key to all he seeks.
What about you?
I played my part in all of this as well. There's no escape for me. Black iron is where I belong.
It's you.
Yeah, you look terrible.
What happened? Where am I?
It doesn't matter. We got what we need. Now let's go finish this. Come on.
I mean, that's the only thing I care about.
How are you feeling?
Like something's inside my head. Trying to take over.
Hey, just hold on. We'll be there soon.
Yeah, it's a clean part of the game. That's amazing. Everything else has been like wreckage and filth.
Did you see that?
See what?
You can just say no. No, I didn't see that, you crazy guy.
Elevators ahead. Should get us up to the tower.
Yeah, there are some good details here and there. You know, I mean, I think they've basically achieved the look that they wanted. It's kind of a shame that they couldn't get that gameplay in there. Like, this really should have started as a very simple, you know, very simple models. Testing the gameplay, perfecting it, you know, and then building the graphics around it. That's typically what you see in a lot of, you know, like Nintendo or Platinum. That's kind of how they start.
So, what happened back there? Last thing I remember is those robots jumping us.
Mahler's helping us get the cure.
And you trust her?
No.
Don't got a choice.
Yeah.
What is all this?
How pleasant.
This is definitely not the UJC.
Then who is it?
Was this some ancient relief of killing a dinosaur? Romans, of course. That was the right region of the world where monsters like that would have existed.
Tonight, while the prison sleeps, I will take matters into my own hands. I will release Mahler's experiments into the wild. No more talk. The time has come for action, and I know that I am right. Computer, initiate the Callisto Protocol.
Oh, what's the game's title? I was just joking about somebody actually saying it. People might not remember this, but it used to be a fairly common thing for titles of stories, whether they be, you know, manga or books or movies or games, to not necessarily be a line in a game
What the hell?
or in the story.
Danny? Danny, where are you?
Oh, back here. Oh, yeah, yeah. Reliving the memories. Memories.
And now you're inside Danny's memories, seeing the truth of Europe. A diluted test sample released from one of our labs. A tragedy that inspired everything Cole is doing here at Black Island.
Oh, well, at least they gave you the opportunity to see the set piece. You know, they didn't waste it in just a cutscene. I appreciate that. Oh my god, the weather is 40 Celsius. Well, no wonder these people were dying. This guy's gonna jump out and grab me, right? According to the memory. Oh. Well, that's a different memory.
go! Look at it! Look at it! What are you talking about? You see? Do you see?
Jacob, what do you got there?
What we got here is none of our business. But come on, we got a job to do.
Oh, I thought they did like a little wrestling move thing.
This was our fault.
Lily!
Oh, that probably was a bad decision.
No, 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 no. No. No! I tried to protect you. You didn't deserve that.
Europa wasn't a terrorist attack. They doctored the footage to cover up what they were planning to test at Black Iron. And the cargo that we transported played a part in both. I could have stopped this. But I didn't.
You made the wrong choice. Now how are you gonna make it right?
I'm gonna shoot a lot of stuff.
Jake,
Well, I'm gonna beat a lot of stuff.
Hey, come on. Come on.
I can't.
Yes, you can. We're almost there.
No. I can feel it. Hear it. In my head.
What are the subtitles?
You stay here. I'm gonna come back when I get the cure.
I can take care of myself.
Okay.
Make him pay for what he's done.
But first. Ah, okay. And this stuff is pretty cool. Not that the rest of the game doesn't look cool too, but you know, I kind of like the actually being able to see the architecture underneath. I mean, all the while over, you know, on the way here, it's just been covered in filth and gunk.
UJC printing for all your needs. Invalid selection.
Oh, I'm a little short. Oh my god. I need that hand cannon ammo. The riot gun ammo? Probably not. I mean, I haven't even upgraded the riot cannon. Let's see. I guess I do need that.
Excellent choice. Have a united day.
It's weird too. There's no new game plus. I don't think you can earn enough money to buy everything. You know, unlike the you know, the Dead Space games where they did eventually, you know, you could play another round and you would eventually earn everything. You know, to play, you know, potentially a fourth round or maybe a fifth round. Certainly by the third round, you could have a fully maxed character just marauding around taking care of business. That's part of the fun of the game. I mean, we're not granted that, unfortunately. Like I said, this game, you know, it was definitely released a little too early. But, you know, as I said, a game has to release at some point in time. You can't just keep working on stuff. And I'm sure that was the conundrum. So is it good enough to release? Well, you know, mostly. I think there's some certainly good elements in here, and you know, and I think at some point in time, you know, maybe once they get to the Game of the Year edition or whatever they want to call the, you know, whatever they want to call it after it's been out for a year, I think there could really be something here. But then, you know, you'd have to play, you know, kind of an uneven main campaign, and then you'd play like a slightly better DLC with, you know, what you would hope would be, you know, some updated mechanics. You know, and it wouldn't really, I don't know if that would really be a good experience. Oh, apparently I really want you to use the riot gun, which I have not upgraded. I've done absolutely zero with it. Whoops. Did I miss a turn somewhere?
The choice is yours.
Yeah, look at all that riot gun ammo. But I have done nothing with the riot gun. Man, it'll be too expensive to upgrade this late in the game. Wait, what? That seems like there should be something there.
The greater risk is in failing to act, especially when the commonality is finally within our grasp. And right on time. He approaches. The survivor.
Oh, everybody else is mutated.
Where's the Alpha? Just give me the goddamn antidote. I'm not gonna let her die.
Your friend. I've been watching you. You and your so-called friend. You're not the innocent you claim to be. You've proven that you'll do just about anything to ensure your own survival.
And what about you, huh? Watching people die for fun? Is that your protocol?
No. You are mistaken, Mr. Lee. The protocol isn't about death. It's about life. Our future lies out there. Our destiny. But we were not built for life in space. This fragile shell holds us back. We have to evolve if we are to survive. And now, you'll all see why. Proof that my methods are worth the risk. A final contest to determine the true survivor. Humanity. Or my power.
Aw, you again?
Well, 5-2. You're really a thank you. At first I thought this was a curse, but then I realized it is a gift.
Oh, except for the need to poop in the middle of a sentence, apparently.
Show me my pelvis. Now, I'm gonna show you.
I'd rather you not. Oh, am I supposed to lose? Okay. Seems like it. See, he can parry. Why can't I parry? See, I need to be able to do that move. Just rig that to my move. One of my moves. Improve the game like 100% by giving me that.
No one to save you now. No more tricks. No escape this time. I've beaten you. I've beaten everyone. I told you. What's happening to me?
Resident Evil territory here.
There's always a price.
Help you. Hey, Vera. Want some kitty time. No, what? Why do we have to send the little bomb guys? Is that absolutely necessary? Have to do the dodge move. I don't even know if I'm doing this right. I mean, I'm kind of assuming I am. Oh, I can reload during the loading screen apparently. If I didn't have to deal with the little exploding boogers, this would be fine. It's a case of bad design when you have to send little minions during your boss fight. I mean, I think this would have been okay without the minions. I think it would have been tough enough. You know, you gotta have faith in your design. So many of them. So annoying. It's not even a hard fight, it's just an annoying one. Why are these things here? They don't need to be here. And then splash damage from these little things. What? Homing? Okay, look how many of them there are. And they just come from nowhere. I mean, they don't originate from anything. I can't even see it. every single time. This is like nothing I can do to avoid it. I could be running. You have to play the dodging minigame. Have to do it. Have to watch the death sequence over and over again. That's not the one. I mean, where do I get... where do I get the injection from exactly? What if that's the wrong spot?
Hold on, Danny.
You think you've beaten us? Ferris was weak, an imperfect vessel. But in that sample is the key to unlocking a centuries-old dream. That's not failure, Mr. Lee. It's progress.
Did you not just see me murder that guy?
No, I don't think so.
Please, this is no time for false heroics. Leave the sample and walk away. There's an escape pod up there. To take you back to the life you once had. We can both have everything we want. So tell me, Mr. Lee, what do you want?
I'll tell you what I want. I want my sister back, fucker!
A valiant effort. But surely you know by now, I never lose.
No. This time you do.
Wait, don't I have to synthesize that? Okay. Isn't that just gonna make her a monster? Alright, this is not making too much sense.
Such a waste. All this to save one life. Don't think you've stopped us.
Why don't I pick that up again to get another sample?
Carry the protocol to the next phase. As for you,
Self-destruct sequence initiating.
goodbye, Miss Nakamura. And Mr. Lee. I do hope you've enjoyed your stay at Black Iron.
Reactor core approaching critical.
Let's go this way.
I can still grab that needle again. Actually, there was a bunch of ammo here, wasn't there? Unless I took all the ammo away. I mean, there was shitloads of ammo. I just didn't have time to grab it. Oh, for the riot gun. Well, okay. I mean, nothing to get excited about there. Yeah, boy, they really wanted you to use that riot gun. Where'd the body go? Okay.
Run!
What stuff? There might be stuff here. Oh, she's already gone. I'm just talking to myself.
Just keep going! We gotta get to the escape pods.
She's like, yeah, already here.
Almost there! I see pods!
It's only a pod for one.
There's just one.
You don't know what you're doing!
I didn't. But I do now. I can't keep running from what I've done.
What are you talking about?
Sorry. For everything. I do belong here.
Don't do this. Jacob! Jacob!
Oh, that's cool looking.
Data transfer complete.
That transfer worked both ways. He learned more about me, and I learned more about him. In the chaos of the moment, I didn't realize he had also given me the evidence I was looking for all along. And sacrificed his life so that I could expose the truth. Was he trying to make up for the pain he caused? Or just chasing some kind of redemption? Either way, I hope he found some peace.
Jacob, there might be a way out after all. But I'm going to need your help.
Okay, well, I guess that's it. This is this has been Apostrophe. You've been watching the Callisto Protocol running on PlayStation 5. Again, we just happened to pick the platform, the lead platform that you can be, since the game is so much about aggression, then maybe you can, parry something and then go into a combo. Same thing with your opponent. Not that you need to make this, Sekiro or something, but something along those lines where if it is about aggression, then give me the aggression. Give me the dodging and also give me the parrying, which would allow me to go into further aggressions. I think also a lot of enemies felt really bullet spongy. If you're going to give us a lot of enemies, then I think the give would have to be, or the balance factor would have to be that the enemies would go down faster. So lots of enemies, give us plenty of the low level characters to kind of make ourselves feel powerful and give us those fast awesome combos. Mid tier enemies which would challenge you a little bit, and then the hard tier boss enemies. As it is, you're basically surrounded by low level characters only, and all the patterns are very, very easy since they made the dodging mechanic so easy. I would have liked, you do have two kinds of melee moves, with the charge move and the regular punch. And I think it's okay to do something like that, but again, I can never really combo those. Like, I would want to be able to combo, hard light hard, or hard light, or light light hard, or variations of those. And the combos just weren't set up for that. The gunplay, I think, was definitely an afterthought. It's just there because I think maybe the designers felt they needed to have some guns in it. I mean, you could have made this whole game without the guns, and I don't think it really would have made that much of a difference. You would have had to change some of the boss encounters, of course, to accommodate that. But for the most part, you just didn't need to have guns. If you just had just the brawling and just the telekinesis, probably would have been fine, I think. But again, modern games need to have guns in them. I can understand somebody making that suggestion and losing out on that argument. Especially if you're talking about something where an audience expects Dead Space. Dead Space was all about guns, varieties of different guns and varieties of ways to use guns and different targets on enemies. And here, that's not not really the thing. I think, and again, if you're going to focus on melee and brawling combat, then also give us enemy weak spots. Which they were trying to kind of do with the gunplay and the tentacles, but it really didn't work out that well. Again, I would also suggest a quick turnaround button for those situations where monsters, are purposely putting you in between other monsters, because there's no way to really dodge from enemies that are striking off screen behind you. That's not great. I also think that enemies that have projectiles, I think there should be a way to dodge those as well, especially if they're coming from off screen. An indicator showing that incoming projectile is coming in, and maybe you can do something else to dodge those. Just forcing players to take that hit from an off screen enemy has never really been a winning strategy. I do think a lot of the technology driving the game is really good. Obviously the motion capture is excellent. All the animation and the keyframe work that they did to clean up the animation is really good. I think, while you're not talking about, a lot of, Oscar-worthy acting, these actors also weren't given a lot of material to strut their stuff in. I think if there were more attention paid to the story, either through, more use of audio logs, or just maybe some more cutscenes here and there, to flesh out the story and give us more time with the characters. I think there really could have been something special here. Obviously something like that can be successful. We've seen Uncharted and God of War and Tomb Raider, give us lots of action sequences and lots of action. In some cases, a lot of kind of pre-made action that require very little interaction on your part, and still give us I think an intriguing story with some characters that develop. So it is possible, if enough time is given to it. As it is, this is really just an outline of a story, and not a full script, which is a shame. Again, I think there could be something here. you know, man, I don't know. You know, it really needed another year. You know, I'm sure the publisher wouldn't have been too happy about that. To continue to dump money into this for another year, but you know, would have been I think it would have been a more solid project had that been the case. You certainly heard from other reviewers out there, you know, downplaying, you know, the value of this game. I am in that boat too. I do feel that it's just an average game with, you know, a better than average veneer. You know, on the outside it looks really good, but the gameplay itself, you know, needed a lot of time in the oven. And you know, if you want somebody to come back and play these, you know, challenge themselves with harder difficulties, or maybe going on, you know, fist-only runs, or gun-only runs, or shotgun-only runs, you know, you have to give them gameplay that facilitates that. You know, I mean, we've seen a lot of very creative runs for Dead Space and Dead Space 2, you know, because that flexibility was there. As it is, you know, you're not really given that sort of flexibility in the combat and the gameplay to mix it up to drive you to play more of the game, you know, after the credits roll. Like I probably won't play this until the sequel comes out. Even the DLC, you know, DLC tends to be very, very sparse and insignificant. You know, I don't think I've ever run into a piece of DLC that has ever transformatively changed the game so that I've wanted to revisit something, you know, because of a new DLC. You know, DLC generally tends to be like 10 minutes of gameplay, you know, 10 to 2 hours of gameplay, and nothing more than that, which is kind of sad and disappointing considering that expansion packs used to be much more than that back in the old days. Yeah, so I mean, I have a hard time suggesting this to folks that, well, certainly don't play this if you are wanting more Dead Space style gameplay. That's not what you're getting. If you're okay with like a lower tier Masao game, you know, not kind of giving you those big set pieces for beat 'em up action, you know, being a little bit more focused and I don't know, like more intimate, I suppose, then this is something you might enjoy. You know, also kind of come into this knowing that it is a shorter game. And I wish they would have at least spent enough time to give us New Game Plus, so that even if a game is shorter, then you still have some impetus to just play it over and over again, you know, and thereby, you know, increasing the value of the game, you know. But as it is, you know, I can't really see anybody going into this playing it on, you know, easy and normal and then going back and playing it on hard, you know, because they had such a great time. I don't really see that happening. Some people, but I don't think most gamers would, especially in the face of the much stronger competition this year. You know, it's obviously been a really good year for games with, you know, with Elden Ring and God of War. You know, for me, you know, Xenoblade Chronicles 3. You know, Sifu came out, which, you know, stomps all over this game as far as beat 'em up action goes. I mean, certainly not as far as graphics, but even story wise, you know, that game is, you know, well and beyond what this game is. And, you know, and lots of other games. You know, I do plan on having a little game of the year special for myself as well, to kind of talk about the games that were impressive to me for the year. You know, unfortunately, I wouldn't put this game in there. It is a bit of an oddity in that, you know, so much goodwill was given to these developers because, you know, while Dead Space is the Dead Space fan base is a smaller fan base, you know, it is a very loyal and dedicated fan base that wants the best from that series. You know, wants more new games that satisfies our need. You know, I know that doesn't translate into high volume sales. I think people tend to forget that Dead Space 1, 2, and 3 were not, you know, the pinnacle of sales, which was why the series consequently was trying to be transformed by EA by putting in all the things that they thought worked for other games. You know, the microtransactions and the expansion into, you know, having more enemies be humanoid and feeling more like a Battlefield game versus a Dead Space game. You know, I mean, all those things were done to broaden the appeal of the game, so that folks that wouldn't necessarily want a horror game would be okay with playing a Dead Space game. I mean, that all failed ultimately, and now they're kind of going back to the drawing board and redoing, you know, what the first game did. You know, sort of playing their hand and going, yeah, you know, we screwed up, we didn't know what we were doing. You know, let's go back to what did work, and we'll see if they're rewarded with good effort if they have a good game. You know, I think at the time, a horror game just naturally had a smaller audience, but that audience is significantly larger. You know, a lot of us streamers out there who play a lot of horror games, I think, opened the eyes of a lot of other players out there who maybe weren't willing to play a horror-based game. With that in mind, I think if you're somebody that has a hard time with horror, and you're okay with the amount of gore in this game, then this is something that you could play. You know, this is like, you know, a bit of a gateway into the horror genre, because this game is not out to try to scare you. It is out to try to disturb you a little bit, but certainly not scare you. And maybe if you play this, then maybe you could try to, you know, gradually get into games that are a little bit more frightening. In that way, I think the game maybe is good to introduce you to something that is a little bit more hardcore. You know, maybe you'll finally be able to play Alien Isolation and you know, Tormented Souls, and you know, Signalis, you know, some really good stuff out there. If you can get into this, kind of doubt it, but you know, you never know. I wish this was better. I really do. I was really hoping it would be. You know, I was very excited to get the taste of a game which could have, you know, had the promise of being even better than Dead Space, you know, before the Dead Space remake. You know, just if anything, just to show up, EA, just to say, hey, you know, had you given those folks at Visceral a chance to really develop the series, they would have made something good. But this certainly doesn't prove that point. And if EA's game ends up being the better game, you know, with members, you know, of a team which weren't part of Visceral, well, you know, I think unfortunately this team is not going to be looked on as the A team, and the special something that was with that did make Dead Space doesn't exist here. I don't know. We'll see. Again, I hope for the best. I hope Striking Distance takes constructive feedback and delivers it onto their next game, or maybe some of their DLC. I don't know. But yeah, I would say refocus the efforts on the combat and make that more interesting. Give us some. Well, you don't even need to give us like drastically different enemies. I mean, if enemies behave differently. And you have a fighting engine that requires a little bit more skill, now you do have to worry about whether you do left or right in the proper direction. Then, and you have the option to do blocks and parries. Then that really opens up the combat to something that I think would be beneficial to the series, if this is going to be a series. And then give us. It's okay to give us more enemies, but then make the encounters quicker, right? Make sure that you get to the end of an encounter faster. As it is, even the base enemy just takes a lot of hits, and you fully upgrade all of your weapons, and you still take a lot of hits. You don't really ever feel that you've gained that much more power. All you've done is giving yourself a stat boost, but with no noticeable changes. At least that's how I felt. All those upgrades that we did. I mean, it didn't feel the combat and the damage didn't feel any better than when we first started the game. That can be the real problem if you're trying to balance your game so much that you make the experience exactly the same from beginning to end. And that's not any fun. God, what else can we say? I do also think that I think a lot of the reason why this game does not have a frightening feeling to it and doesn't give you that sense of vulnerability and fear is I think the music cues really aren't played very well. That is where, you know, Dead Space 1 and 2, and in lesser aspects 3, I think that's really where the strength of that was that, you know, in that first encounter, when the necromorphs come in and, you know, you're without a weapon, that music really drove the emotion that you had to feel, you know, the sense of helplessness, and then the urgency of getting away from something. And then as necromorphs appeared, you know, you got the big orchestra boom, and even leading up to it, while you were just walking around in the corridors, there was some good music to set up you know, an uncomfortable feeling. Here, I just didn't get that. You know, we got a couple of interesting sounds here and there in the beginning. You know, with the really, you know, fast staccato violins, but after that, it just kind of seemed to disappear. And I don't know if maybe the sound designers didn't get enough time, or if the you know, the lead composer just, you know, wasn't given enough time to develop, you know, more interesting soundscapes for situations. But yeah, it's sort of, in ways, it sort of felt flat, and it just can't be that way if you want to generate suspenseful or fearful mood. I don't know. I mean, that's a much harder thing to fix, I think. Going in there with maybe a different sound engineer and fixing some things up. Don't know if that's ever going to happen. But again, I would expect that for the sequel. So there you go. This is that's been the Callisto Protocol running on PlayStation 5. If you do plan on getting this game, and you have a PlayStation 5, this is really the place to play it. Otherwise, you suffer from a fair number of performance issues. Even now, after it's patched, I mean, you know, PlayStation 5 is still the smoothest experience versus the PC and the Xbox Series X. At some point in time, I'm sure the PC one will be fixed, but as it is right now, you know, you're still going to get hitches and frame drops in places that you don't get on PlayStation 5. Hopefully this will be a bit of a help for you folks out there as well, whether or not you want to pick this up for yourself. I would say certainly, you know, at half price, I think this would be worth it. At full price, I think it's a little tougher. You know, if they decide to put the New Game Plus experience in here with the game and it not being part of a season pass or something, you know, maybe down the road that would be something that people would enjoy. But as it is, you know, as a one-time play, it's kind of rough for the price. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching, and I will see you at the next stream.